Okay, so this might be the shortest video I've ever done. I made it in one night because I have something itching at my brain and I already made the box video and I'm still holding off on the puppet one in case my baby actually comes back someday. Still crossing my fingers on that Help Wanted 2 DLC. But yeah, so this involves the puppet and it involves this weird thing I just noticed. So, did Fredbear's family diner just straight up have flying animatronic technology? Because in the security puppet minigame in Pizzeria Simulator, the security puppet apparently flew outside of the front door, hovered around back, and collapsed by Charlie's body. Sure, it struggled at the end, but it was very clearly hovering. For note, the only time the puppet is ever depicted walking is in Help Wanted, and it does that little wibbly wobbly walk. In old minigames it is shown hovering, and in FNAF 3 it is clearly levitating. There's a gap between its feet and the reflections on the floor where you can see the distance. In the minigame in question, the kids' feet are moving and the puppets are not. So, that too. That thing is likely on strings inside of the business, and then floats right out the door. And unless it has a track that's been mounted outside that goes all the way back to the dumpster, I don't think it's still on its strings. And the tack on, it apparently shuts down and is still going. Like the lights go off in its eyes, its head slumps, it's falling apart, and it's still crawling. This thing was programmed to do this? How is all this possible? By all accounts, this is the diner, as hinted and depicted in FNAF 2's Save Him minigame, which is confirmed to be the same event as this in Pizzeria Simulator. From Phone Guy and FNAF 2's comment on the original owner, Henry hasn't been around since the diner, but of course he wasn't confirmed to be the owner in the games. The books are an alternate continuity, but things like the diner and the characters' characterization are consistent for the most part. The books are the only place where it says that Henry and William worked together. In the games, it just says that they were friends. And like I've said before, despite the fact that the novel trilogy came out a long time ago and doesn't seem to be important to the games anymore, for some reason recently things from the books, the original 3 books, have been popping up like left and right. Like the "What Makes You So Special" line that appears all throughout Help Wanted 2, and the underground pizzeria. So there's at least some connection with these books. I'm going to get back to Help Wanted 2 later and go on a rant about that, so just keep that in mind for then. But in the books, Charlie is said to have been taken in 1983 from the diner, and FNAF lore backs up that the diner would be around at that time. But this is all flavor text. The point isn't what year it is. The point is that the puppet, a puppet that was supposedly around before the missing children incident, which means this incident must have happened before that, and there's a flying puppet going outside the diner. So what does this mean? Well, so I have 2 equally disturbing theories. Well, 3. 1, this was an oversight. Let me get that out of the way because it could just very well be an oops. 2, the puppet was already haunted by someone and then Charlie joined in. That Save Him and Save Her were both canon events and there's 2 kids inside of the puppet. Like how people assume that there's 2 kids inside of Golden Freddy. In fact, that would actually fix the Save Him retcon by having them be the same event. Or 3, the puppet was already haunted and wasn't haunted by Charlie, and Henry was just wrong. He just assumed his daughter was in there. I knew you couldn't let go, just like me. Or something like that.
I should have known you wouldn't be content to disappear. Not my daughter.
Chime in here to remind everyone that she was like 3 years old. Because, see, this would actually kind of be canon to his character in the books, where he is able to delude himself into believing that he rebuilt Charlie with a doll that was not hers, but one he apparently bought at a dollar store and then cried into. Or maybe it was hers, but wasn't with her when she died. I don't know, the dialogue sounds like he just, after she died, he ran by the Dollar General and picked up a toy, and then started crying into it until it started calling him daddy. He'll just believe anyone's his kid. Something says what he wants to hear, and he's ready to send it to college. Yeah, I was just thinking about it, because I just actually stopped recording, and I'm totally off script now. how disturbing it would be if it really was. And I'm not just saying this because, I'm the person who keeps pushing the crying child used to be the puppet thing. How absolutely disturbing it would be if the truth was that Charlie wasn't the puppet and it wasn't the crying child, it was anyone else, and that Henry set fire to it and Michael and everyone else because he wanted so badly to believe that it was Charlie. That would be an incredible twist, by the way. That would be, it would probably come a little out of left field, but wow, that would actually maybe kind of work. But that's not the point of this, really. The point was to point out this weird sort of moment in the games, because if this truly is to be taken at face value, and animatronics could fully levitate in the 1980s, then Freddy Fazbear's went through a major downgrade in the 90s. I suppose the other option could be that there's two puppets. The security puppet and the one that apparently showed up after Golden Freddy, if the Help Wanted 2 teases are willing to be believed. The lineup of the memory dolls is very deliberate, with Chica, I was the first chicken, being first, the others and the puppet last. And the Fast Force Transformers also have the puppet revealed as the last a split second before that ending. And there comes the paradox. How can the puppet be the one who put everyone into a suit and also the last one to show up? Well, the only explanations can be that this is either a time-traveling puppet scenario where he's been doing deep dives in the Freddy's ball pit, or there's apparently two puppets, which would almost make sense considering how different the two puppet designs look and how neither matches the puppet inside of Lefty, the arm shape and texture especially. I'm fine with that. You know how much I love the two of every FNAF character phenomenon. Well, that's mostly it. I just couldn't scrounge up a whole video on this, and I just needed to get this out there because it's like 2 in the morning and I haven't slept. Maybe this is just puppet cope, likely because I want to see these weird things. Why is the puppet on a green table, like a surgery table? Why is it next to chattery teeth? Does it mean something? Probably not. I just noticed it because I was looking for it. And as for the flying puppet whizzing out of the diner, I'd put my money on it being an oversight above all else. But if there was a secret second puppet, I don't care who it is, I'm totally on board. Especially if he's a jester. Anyway, thank you for watching.